Welcome, muggles, wizards, and witches alike, to the discussion about Encanto on Whimsical Wizardry.
The podcast where we as siblings love everything about the Harry Potter universe and also exploring other fandoms altogether.
We are your hosts. I'm Brittany Howard.
And I'm Kenneth Campbell.
And this week, we're going to be discussing the Encanto movie, along with doing some different Harry Potter activities.
Brief interruption. If you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel at Whimsical Wizardry, just in case you want to look at some of our past episodes. Only the most recent episodes we have are included on Apple Podcasts. Thank you, and let's get on to Owl Onset. This week on Owl Onset, we are going to be talking about the second Harry Potter chapter of the Philosopher's Stone.
These are some of our favorite quotes.
Okay, guys, so I'm going to go ahead and get started. 36? He said, looking up at his mother and father. That's 2 less than last year. Little Tyke wants his money's worth, just like his father. Attaboy, Dudley. Or the movie version of the quote that I like much more. 36, but last year, I got 37.
I think it's interesting because we both picked quotes from like that whole situation where they're talking about his birthday. Because I picked just afterwards when Petunia says, "Diddy duddy dums, don't cry. Mommy doesn't want you to spoil your special day," she said, flinging her arms around him.
That's great. I feel like I really like it because it just shows how stupid this family is.
How ridiculous they are. Like over the top ridiculous with Dudley.
Yeah, like 36 gifts. That's like more than like how many gifts you get for Christmas, and Christmas is Christmas.
It's crazy because in the list of what he got, it says he got a racing bike, a video camera, a remote control airplane, 16 new computer games, and a VCR. Plus, he gets to go to the zoo.
Yeah, this is just ridiculous because, like, first of all, what is he gonna use all this stuff for? Like that's just junk. How much of that is he actually going to use? And second of all, I just hate how he's mad about it.
Oh, he's just angry. And like the parents just encourage him. I mean, your quote, "Attaboy Dudley," what? That kid needs to be like disciplined or something.
Yeah, I mean, they're generous enough to give him like 36 gifts. And I think they're just like terrible parents to not know that he's being an idiot.
Yeah, I just think it's interesting to see the contrast between like how over the top these guys are compared to other parents like Molly and Arthur Weasley, you know?
Yeah, and
they
like
really
a normal
made them
family.
Yeah, they really made them drastically different.
Yeah, because I don't know, they're just like, it's so peculiar looking at them and then thinking about how Harry could have been raised by Lily and James. I feel like I kind of wish I could have seen the way Harry would have been raised.
Right? Like an alternative reality of what it could have been like if nothing ever went wrong for Harry. It would be a very boring book, but it would be interesting to see how like Lily and James and Sirius and Remus and Peter like all pulled together to raise Harry because they were all like really good friends up until that point.
That could have been awesome. And I feel like fan fiction people. But we should do that. Anyways, I feel like even Sirius being in Azkaban, that really hurts because if he wasn't in Azkaban, we could have like seen this other alternate reality of him being raised by Sirius because he was his godfather, so he would have like been able to live with him.
That's true. And to think that Sirius is in Azkaban at this time and he has like 2 more years that he's going to be in there before he breaks out.
Yeah, and it's so sad. I would have loved to see how Sirius actually breaks out.
That's true. It would have been interesting. But to go back to the chapter, I think it's just really interesting, this whole scene, especially with the snake scene. And even right before the snake scene when they're getting ice cream and the lady asks Harry if he wants some. He's like, "This is the best day ever because I actually, 1, I got to go to the zoo. 2, I didn't have to go listen to Mrs. Fig talk about cats. And 3, I got ice cream."
Yeah, it was so funny how he thought like that was amazing. I think one of my favorite parts was also when he went up to the snake and the snake was like, sort of like, hey, and then he was like, where you did you like it in Brazil? Because there was a sign next to him, and then he points that he was bred in captivity. And I feel like that really like that's the first relation he has with like some other object that's not like cruel to him. And they're kind of like, they're both like, oh, so we both live terrible lives.
That's true. That's true. And in the movie, he's like, that's me as well. Like, that's how I am. Which is interesting. I'm glad they added that in the movie because it is more relatable. And I
Mhm.
also like how when they go back to the car, Pierce and Dudley, and Pierce isn't in the movie, but Pierce and Dudley are like, the snake almost bit my leg off and it almost squeezed me to death. It just rolled past them. Like they were
Yeah.
so exaggerating.
Yeah. I mean, I would have been scared, definitely. If the glass just like gone and the
Yeah.
snake's just there.
So question, who do you think as like an actor would have played Pierce if they had
I wish they would have like had Pierce like be there, but if I were to choose an actor,
because it kind of
um
shows the dynamic of Dudley with his friends, which we don't really see until what, the Half-Blood Prince?
yeah. I don't
Yeah,
know a lot of British actors, which is a little bit sad, but if I were to choose someone
that's true. They'd
um
have to be British.
that isn't British, then I probably would be choosing, give me a second. Okay, so if I were to choose an American actor, I would probably choose Tim Allen, like when he was a kid, because I just think he could really like make that funny like actor kind of position where he's just like being a bratty kid.
Yeah. I think I could see that just like if he was younger. I think as somebody who was younger at this time that could have played the part. Have you ever seen the 2003 edition of Peter Pan with that
Uh,
blonde boy? His name is Jeremy Sumpter.
Not even gonna lie, I haven't seen any of the Peter Pans. I'm actually gonna start reading a book that's Peter Pan, and I'm gonna figure out what the story is.
It's a good story, but you'll have to watch it after you're done, but he plays Peter Pan and it I think he could play him really well because he's like blonde. He's kind of got that like sharp pointed face which they described Pierce as having.
Oh my gosh, yes. And the Peter Pan from Once Upon a Time, he would definitely fit like who he is. Let me look him up right now to see what his name is. Okay, so his name is Robbie K, and I just sent you a picture of him.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, he's this big like he's just so mean and so like he's like I don't know. He's a great actor.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think that would work out perfectly. Today on Divination Digest, we're going to be talking about the new Disney movie Encanto, available on Disney Plus.
Yes, this movie was so good.
It was honestly, I didn't expect it to be as good or one of my favorites like it is now.
Yeah. So first talking, when I first watched the movie, I was like extremely tired. It was late at night. I was just looking at something that I could watch before I went to bed. And then I watched it and then I think I called you and I was like, huh, that was a disappointment.
Yeah, you watched it for the first time and you didn't like it.
Yeah, I was like very kind of sad about it. I don't know. It did not impress me. But then I went back and I watched it a second time and wait, no, I didn't watch it a second time. The next day I was listening to the music and I was like, "Whoa, this is really good." And then I
That's
actually fell in
funny.
love with it.
So you fell in love with it because of the music.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. The plot line wasn't my favorite, but the characters and the music was amazing.
I agree. I
Yeah.
I mean the plot line wasn't huge. It was more of a character driven story. And I just liked like the house and how the house was alive. Like I thought that was so cool. How
It
they
kind of had
created
like a Harry Potter feel, like the burrow.
yeah, it was magical and how they created like a character out of the house.
Hmm.
Who's your favorite
Okay.
character?
I was just gonna ask that. My favorite character is Dolores. I know that not a lot of people like her, but I just like it may just be my bias because I like people like I think it's really cool that she can like hear even though like if someone's like way far away, like that's so cool.
Yeah, I think she's cool. I like that dance that her and Maribel do. Uh
I can always hear you sort of stuttering and stumbling. Wait,
yeah,
no.
that one. That one. I think
Yeah.
it's cool. My favorite character I think is Louisa. Uh
Ooh.
I really like how she's like super strong, but then she's really a softie on the inside.
Yeah, I like that too. And then she like walks in and she's like, "Oh, Maribel told me that the powers were running low, and then I tried to get the donkeys, and then I
And
couldn't
they
carry
were
them."
heavy.
Yeah, it was so funny.
So I like her just because she's like she has so much, I mean, obviously pressure. That's what her song's called, surface
Yeah,
pressure. But she has so much pressure on her to be strong in every sense of the word, that it's just really funny when she starts breaking down.
yeah, it's so funny.
And
Okay,
who
so
the girl that played her did just like a really good job at the voice acting with her.
yeah, they made a jazz version of her song. It was so good. You should check it out on YouTube.
Oh, just type in jazz version.
Yeah, and like she's singing it. It's cool.
Okay, that's awesome.
Yeah. Okay. So now that we know our favorite characters, let's take a little bit of a turn and let's sing a part from what they sing in the songs.
Oh gosh, we're really digging deep here, guys. I am not a singer, but we can try.
Yeah. So you can go ahead and get started if you would like.
You can go ahead. I'll follow suit.
No, no, no. You can go first.
Oh, see, now this is ridiculous. No, I don't know where to start.
Grew to live in fear, burner, stuttering and stumbling. I could always hear him sort of muttering and mumbling. I was just scared with the sound of falling sand. Tss, tss, tss. It's a heavy gift with a gift so humbling. Always let people in the family fumbling, grappling with prophecies they couldn't understand. Do you understand?
7 foot frame wraps along his back. I don't know the
That's
rest of the words.
that's, that's not from Lisa. We're
I
doing our
don't.
favorite characters. Come on,
That's
do
oh, you didn't
pressure.
say that.
Yeah. Okay. Well, do a section from pressure.
Okay, I like the beginning.
Okay, go.
I'm the strong one. I'm not nervous. I'm as tough as the crust of the earth is. I move mountains. I move churches. And I glow because I know what my worth is.
Never ask how the work is. Got a rough and destructible surface. Diamonds and
Diamonds and
platinum. I
platinum. I
find them
find
a
them in
platinum. I
platinum. I
take what's
take what is
demanded.
handed. I break what demanded. But under the surface,
I feel berserk like a tightrope walker on a three-ring circus.
I think we got a little carried away.
Yeah, but that was fun. Yeah, this movie is so good in my opinion.
Oh yeah, it's great. And I was surprised because that don't do not talk about Bruno was on like the top 10 songs downloaded on iTunes like after the movie came out. It got really popular and I was really
Yeah,
surprised. I mean, I wasn't surprised because that was like one of the best songs in the whole thing.
yeah. I think the coolest thing is they they weren't in the same studio. Like this was filmed from studios all over the world. And one
Oh,
Abuela,
really? I didn't know that.
yeah, Abuela filmed hers from her home. So
Oh, really?
yeah, because of COVID, because they made this during COVID and they all did different studios in different places. And it's just so cool.
That's awesome. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Well, a little
Okay.
trivia for you guys.
It's so cool. And yeah. Okay, so let's dive into our favorite parts. What was your all-time favorite part in the movie?
Oh, my all-time favorite part was when um what's the little boy's name?
Uh Antonio.
Antonio. Yeah, that's right. When Antonio was standing before he was trying to walk up the stairs and he's standing there and he reaches his hand out to her and he's like, I need you. And then they walk together up to the door. That was just so
Heartwarming.
sweet and heartwarming. Like it just made me melt. And then when after that when he got his room and how amazing his room was and how happy he was, I just thought that was awesome.
Yeah, I thought that was great. Okay, so I have two favorite parts. One I just laugh at all the time, and it's not it's from like the side character that's never in the movie, but it was so funny. And then the other part is from it's just like a sad, again, like heartwarming moment. So the first one is when the guy's like, "We need to know your powers." And then she's
Oh, the
like,
little kid.
yeah, and then she's like, "And that's why coffee's for grown-ups."
Yeah, that was great. That was great.
Yeah, and then my second favorite part was when Abuela tells her story and everyone's like, "Oh, she's actually not mean. She just went through a lot." And that really touched me.
Yeah, I'm really glad they did that because it made Abuela seem very harsh at the beginning of
Mhm.
the movie. Like she had no feeling towards her not getting a gift. And so I'm glad they like softened her up a little bit.
Yeah, and the thing that really annoyed me was we were watching the movie in class, and my friends were like, "Abuela's trash. I don't like her. She's the worst character ever." And I'm like, okay.
Oh, that's sad. I really like her.
Yeah,
But I
she turns
like her
very good.
after the end.
Yeah, she's great.
Yeah. The character that I thought that a lot more people would like, but they ended up liking Louisa better was Isabella. I thought
I
that a
think
lot more
that's
people would like her.
I think that's what a lot of people liked. I mean, thought because I mean, like she's the perfect picture perfect princess that you think like all the little girls would like.
Right, but they actually had more dolls sell of Louisa than
Mhm.
they had of Isabella, but they made more of Isabella's dolls. And so they ran out in stores.
Not gonna lie, I kind of like Isabella more.
Really?
I don't know why. It's just because when you look at
Louisa.
Luisa's when you look at Luisa's song, it's kind of sad, it's powerful, it's great, but then you can go and listen to Isabella's song and it's like, what else can I do? And she's like,
Hers is a powerful moment too because she's realizing that she doesn't have to be perfect.
yeah, but it's a little bit more happy, I think.
Yeah, I think it's more happy. And it's more silly too because Maribel's trying to get her to
Bring it
hug
in, bring it
her.
in. Good
Yeah.
talk. Bring it in, bring it in.
So it's just a little bit more sillier.
In Silly Sortings today, we will be sorting the characters from Encanto into their houses: Gryffindor, Ravenclaw, Hufflepuff, and Slytherin.
We're going to be doing Maribel, Luisa, Isabella, Dolores, Camilo, Bruno, and Abuela.
Okay, so how about we go ahead and start with the grandest of them all, Abuela.
All right, let's start with her. Do
I'm
you
gonna
have it
put
in your
her.
head?
Um, I think she started out as a Hufflepuff.
I would say she started out as a Hufflepuff. I agree, but I don't think she stayed a Hufflepuff.
I think when she was younger, before her children were born, like or like the day her children was born, or like beforehand, I think she was a Hufflepuff and she was sorted into a Hufflepuff.
And she restored into a Hufflepuff. I could
Yes.
agree with that. I could
But
agree with that. But I think in the moment when she was like all about her family's um like reputation, I think it was more of a Slytherin.
yeah, I think that too. She definitely changed into Slytherin, but I think she stayed in Hufflepuff, but like underneath. But then again, her Slytherin really did show because her ambition to just keep her family running was very high.
Yeah, and to run the community, like she needed to be the face of the community almost.
Yeah. So Hufflepuff?
Hufflepuff
Okay.
originally and then transitioned to Slytherin.
But
But
then
Hufflepuff.
Hufflepuff.
Yeah.
So she stayed in Hufflepuff.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
All right. What about Louisa?
Ooh, okay. Luisa. See, the pressure part wants me to put her in Slytherin, but her actual character, I think, would have to be Hufflepuff again.
I think it's definitely a Hufflepuff. She definitely like wants to make friends and be there for people And like I
Mhm.
don't think that that comes from a need or ambition or a need to be somebody. I think it comes from a need to be a friend.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go ahead and sort Maribel since she's the main character.
Ooh, I have a really hard time not putting main characters into Gryffindor always.
I was not thinking of her being a Gryffindor at all.
No, really?
I can see it now. I can see it. But I would like to put her in Slytherin.
Slytherin. Why Slytherin?
I think she's more of a Slytherin than a Gryffindor.
Convince me.
Well, she's a Slytherin because, well, even though like her family's terrible to her and she has abuela that's like a jerk all the time, she's always had this ambition to be there for her family, and she's always had this ambition to keep it running, to keep it going, even after she knew that she was the reason that it was going to fall apart. She kept going anyways. And you may say that's a Gryffindor quality because I mean, yes, that was brave, but I think that ran off of her ambition.
Okay, I can see that. I you convinced me. I could see that running off of her ambition.
Yes,
So
Slytherin.
Slytherin.
Okay.
Dolores.
Ooh, my favorite character. I'm gonna have to put her in
She's so
Ravenclaw.
funny. I would say really Ravenclaw. Let me think about this. Yeah, probably Ravenclaw. I could see that. Cuz
She's
she
very
like
smart.
her thinking is very calculated and like she puts together her evidence of what she hears into what she believes, which is a very Ravenclaw thing.
Yeah, it's very good. And then she has her information and she has to tell everyone else.
Yeah, yeah. Camilo kind of
Yeah.
reminds me of Fred and George.
Yes, that's so true.
Because he's
I
like
put him
messing
in
around all the
Gryffindor
time.
with me.
Yeah, I'd put him in a Gryffindor.
Just because, I mean, I don't know. He just seems like that kind of brave.
We don't see a lot from him, so it's kind of hard to place him, but I would put him in as Gryffindor.
Yeah.
All right, so the
Either
last
that or
one
Hufflepuff. Yeah.
that leaves Bruno.
Bruno. We don't talk
We
about
don't
Bruno.
talk about Bruno.
But it was my wedding day. I'm just kidding. I'm not married. Anyways. Okay.
uh,
Hufflepuff.
Hufflepuff.
A lot of these
He
characters are Hufflepuffs.
this is a very Hufflepuff heavy story, and I think it's because they're all like lighthearted, friendly. They want to be loved. Like they're and I think that wanting to be near your family and to love them and to love the community is a very Hufflepuff quality.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Okay. We're missing one person and you forgot them. Isa.
Oh my goodness, you're right.
And can I put her in somewhere already?
Sure.
I think she could be an amazing Gryffindor.
I could see that.
Because she's like as soon as she comes out, like she seems very, very Slytherin until she has that song and she's like, "What else can I do?" And then she's like exploring and she's figuring out who she is, and she just seems very, I don't know, just very courageous in a way.
But like and she turns more Gryffindor towards the end. I agree with you. I was going between Gryffindor and Slytherin. Um because she's kind of like Maribel. Kind of.
No,
Kind of.
no,
Um
Maribel's definitely a Slytherin.
oh no, I agree. But I'm saying like I think that they were similar a little bit. So that's why I was choosing between Slytherin and Gryffindor. But I agree with you, Gryffindor.
Yeah, I think the difference is that for Mirabelle, the reason is because she's like trying to put her family back together. Where Issa, I feel like Issa, most of the time, she's just trying to be perfect so that she doesn't like get shamed on for not being like this amazing person.
Yeah. I think she felt a lot of pressure too. So
Yeah. Okay, so
everybody's feeling pressure.
Gryffindor.
Gryffindor.
Pressure.
This is the time for quick quiz quills, and we're going to be taking a quiz to see which Encanto character we are most like.
Okay, so we're going to be discussing these as well as we go on. And we're starting with the first question, which is how would your friends describe you? Caring, strong, smart, or beautiful? A lot of my friends would probably say that I'm smart.
Smart.
Yes.
I would say I would probably get strong.
Okay. Okay, cool. Yeah. Definitely not beautiful. um Maybe caring,
I could see caring for you.
not strong though,
No.
even though I'm a Gryffindor.
That's okay. All right. What is your favorite color? Blue,
Red.
red, green, pink.
Red.
Red for both of us.
Yes. Okay. Number 3. How would you describe yourself? Down to earth, funny, mysterious, friendly.
I would say down to earth for me.
I'm choosing between down to earth, mysterious.
I would say down to earth.
Okay. Cool.
Pick an item of clothing. A long blue skirt with butterfly print,
Nope.
red hair ribbon,
No.
green poncho,
Maybe
cute pink dress to match your lilac slippers.
green poncho.
That's really your only choice. I would
Nice
pick the red
comfortable.
hair ribbon.
Number 5. What is your greatest strength? Problem solving, being strong for family and friends, my foresight, I'm graceful. What does foresight mean again?
Like being able to see things ahead of time.
Okay, so what's your greatest strength?
I would say problem solving.
Okay, I'm choosing between being strong for family and friends or problem solving or graceful. Which one?
Strong for family and friends.
Okay, cool.
Number 6. What would your magic power be? I don't need magic powers. Well, that's dumb. Super strength, seeing the future, can make flowers grow wherever I go.
I'm gonna choose can make flowers grow wherever I go because that's just amazing. Like a way to find a way to help climate change a little.
That's true, and you're into that. I would say see the future because I think you can do a lot with that.
Pick a Bicky. Number 7. Oreo, hobnob, custard cream, or chalk chip cookie.
Chocolate chip cookie.
Okay, what's a hobnob?
I have no idea.
Oh gosh, guys, if you know what that is, then
Comment and let us know what it is because I have no idea.
yeah, I do not like Oreos. I kind of want custard cream. That's pretty good.
All right. Favorite musical instrument: accordion, guitar, panpipes, or keyboard? I would say out of those, I'm going to pick guitar.
I'm gonna pick keyboard. Number 9. What's your fave classic animated Disney movie? The Little Mermaid, The Incredibles, Peter Pan, or Beauty and the Beast?
Well, we know what I'm going to pick.
You're gonna pick Beauty and the Beast.
I'm a huge Beauty and the Beast fan, guys. Maybe one day we can do a Beauty and the Beast episode.
Yeah, maybe. I'm gonna pick Beauty and the Beast as well.
And number 10, here we go. What's your school report card most likely to say? Compassionate, helpful, knows the answer before the question has been asked, or a good egg?
I think I'd be called a good egg.
I think you'd be called a good egg too. What do you think for me?
Uh, Helpful.
Yeah.
A good egg. Okay. Ooh, I like my answer. What's
What'd
yours?
you get?
What's yours first?
I got Louisa. And it says, you're Louisa, you're strong and care about your family, and you're always there to lend a helping hand. You're tough, but you can be really funny and vulnerable as well.
That's funny because you were saying that your favorite's Luisa, and I'm like, I think Isabella's better.
Did you get Issa?
Yeah, I got Isa. It says you're
Nice.
Isabella. You're graceful, beautiful, magical, the apple of everyone's eye. Nice.
Nice. Nice. All right.
Yeah, I like it. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, that was fun.
This is going to be a very fun Muggle Mysteries. Today we are going to be discussing books. The ones we've read recently and the ones we hope to read in the future.
So this is fun because Kinnick has just recently gotten into reading.
Yes.
And so I've always been a big reader and I like keep track of what I read all the time on my Notion. So I think this is really fun that we're doing this. But a couple of books that I've been reading. Let me pull up my tracker. So I just finished an absolutely remarkable thing by Hank
Yes.
Green. And I actually started reading that because we listened to the podcast Fantastic Geeks. And they had Hank Green on the podcast. And so we looked up the book and Kinnick and I both decided to read it. And it was probably, I mean, I won't give spoilers, but it was the most confusing story I've ever read, but I really liked it.
Yeah, it was so good. I read it months ago because, B's a little bit of a slow reader.
Wow,
But
nobody ever would call me a slow reader but you.
anyways, I read it months ago, and I really liked it. I read through it, and it was an amazing book, and I was like, okay. And then I decided to read A Beautifully Foolish Endeavor because I just had to know the cliffhangers that they left in an absolutely remarkable thing. And that's when I got into BookTube. So if you want to check out my channel, self promo, you can go to Swiftly Nick.
And it's actually good. He's doing a good job with it. I read so I've been reading, I normally read like 4 books at a time. This is so bad. And then I finish them all at one time, and then I start 4 more books. But
Mm-hmm.
I read this book called For the Wolf. And it is by Hannah Witten. And it is so good. So it takes the fairy tale of Little Red Riding Hood, and it kind of turns it on its head a little bit, and it gives a new light into the story. And I love those stories that take fairy tales and like change them or explain them more.
That's awesome. I've been growing my TBR because um I've been wanting to read a ton of books. So I'm gonna have to add that to that because that sounds very good.
I
But
gave it
yeah,
a 5 star.
cool. Yeah, this week has been no, not April. It's been winter vacation. So I read a few books. I mean, yeah. So the one that I read first was A Beautifully Foolish Endeavor, and I posted a video for that. And then I read what's it called? Heartless, and that's another fairy tale twisting book. And it's like how the how the Queen of Hearts became evil. And it was so like maddening but amazing at the same time. I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars.
Yeah, and that's by Marissa Meyer, and she does all sorts of twisted fairy tale books. I really like her Lunar Chronicles books. I've been reading through those. I'm on like book 4.
Mm-hmm.
Um so she does a really good job. I agree.
Yeah. And the one that I most recently read was The Wicker King. And that one, oh, I can't even tell you. It was so it was so crazy, but it was just twisted. So if you want to read it, definitely go ahead and read it, but just know you should probably look at some I don't know. You got to read what it's about. It's about this guy who starts having hallucinations. That's all I'm going to say, but it's very intriguing.
Sounds good. So if so here's a question. If you could recommend one book for people to pick up, what would you recommend? Because I always love getting recommended books besides Harry Potter.
Okay. I haven't read that many books, so this is kind of sad.
Well, based on what you've read recently.
Based off what I've read recently,
Because I'm gonna go with what I read recently.
I'd probably go ahead and recommend The Wicker King.
Okay. So
Yeah.
if I could recommend one book, it would be Fireborn, by
I wrote that
Rosaria
one down.
Munda, and it's about dragons and dragon riders. It's so good.
That sounds amazing. I think I wrote that down on my TBR.
Yeah, it's another one that I gave 5 stars this year. So
That's so cool.
yeah, it was great. And that's it, guys. Thanks for listening to our Encanto episode of Whimsical Wizardry.
Hopefully you'll join us for our next episode. And if you like what you heard today, please consider subscribing on YouTube and Apple Podcasts.
We also have an email account, wizardrywhimsical@gmail.com, if you'd like to send us a question or even a comment.
Join us next time on Whimsical Wizardry.
Bye, guys.